Welcome to Ravenland. For 10 human generations, the blood mist, a red and ravenous haze that rose from the ground at night, devoured travelers. Few dared to venture outside after nightfall, and fewer still know for sure what lies beyond the horizon. The demonic mist that covered the lands for 3 centuries, draining the life out of anyone who dared wander too far from their village, has suddenly and inexplicably lifted. Restless souls are finally free to leave their homes and travel far and wide in the forbidden lands, looking for treasure and adventure. The brave sharpen their blades and prepare to leave. They cannot bear the oppressive weight of their homes and hearths any longer. Adventurers, treasure hunters, scoundrels, not heroes, far from it, but men and women who dare travel the land as they choose and make their mark on it, unbound by any fate or story set for them. They hunt for ancient treasures. They fight whomever gets in their way. They build a new world for themselves on the ruins of the old. They are the raiders of Ravenland, the Forbidden Lands.
Howdy, friends and floorheads. Happy Thursday night, Forbidden Lands night. It is episode 14. We left things on, you guessed it, a cliffhanger. But before we dive into that, I do want to do a little bit of how we feeling inventory for these characters. Let's start off with Osri. Osri, can we update the audience and those watching? What is your situation as far as your attributes? Do you have any critical damage? What's going on?
I don't believe I do have any critical damage at this point. I have taken 1 point of agility damage and 1 point of wits damage, leaving me at 2 of 3 in each of those. And currently my strength is at 5 of 5 and my empathy is at 2 of 2. So I feel like I'm doing relatively okay.
You might be the healthiest one here. How about Sten? How is Sten doing?
Sten has more than half of his attribute points remaining. He's taken a bunch of wits damage, which is the one unfortunate thing. I've got a point off strength, point off agility, and 3 out of my 4 wits are gone. So that makes me sad. No critical hits though, so surviving so far.
How is our mischievous Vasilla?
Well, I had the lucky crit where I just got a brain ache for a day. And then I'm half strength at 1 of 2 and 2 of 3 agility, and feeling like everything's going to be a-okay.
Concussions will do that.
Last but not least, somebody who got the worst of it on last episode with the tangled vines. How's Aldri feeling?
Not great. We're about half dead. 2 out of 4 on strength, 1 out of 2 on agility. I've got all my brains. Like I'm out of all my wits about me. 1 out of 3 on empathy, of all things. And a crushed foot and a punctured lung, both of which will kill me in 2 days. So
right. So on that high note, we are inside this castle inside of Amber's Peak. You have encountered vines on the way in, which Marigold saved you from. You then went upstairs and encountered a beautiful woman, and it wasn't real clear who or what she was. She kind of went off after looking at some sleeping boars and went into another room. You guys didn't follow her. You crossed a bridge to another side of the tower, went down there, and then Vasilla made a new friend. So let's start there. As this thing turns around, you get a full view of what you're looking at least 7.5, maybe even 8 foot tall. From the neck down, huge rippling muscles and a bronze skin, really as much ancestral as much as being out in the sun. Naked except for kind of a fur loincloth around its waist. And its legs come down, and instead of ending in feet, you can now see it ends in hooves. From the neck up, that's where the fur is. A full bull's head with huge horns. You can see the glow of red coming from its eyes as well as his nose. And Vasilla, as you start to take this all in, you see it reach back behind it, grabbing this cleaver that's easily the size of you. So I think to get things started, we need to roll for initiative. So normally in Forbidden Lands, we use cards. I've been using dice for Foundry, so let's go ahead and get that started. I will start the combat. You guys should be able to go to your combat and roll.
Always forget how to roll for initiative. Why
That's
do
an
I never
exciting
remember
name
this?
he's got there.
You can go up to your portrait on the top left, and there's a little
There's
D20
a big
looking
red
tile.
die on the top left, you should see, of your screen next to your
Uh,
portrait. Do you see that?
No.
So you see
Okay.
the portraits
Then
up top
also-
with all the characters?
The other option is on the right-hand side where the chat is. Go to the combat, which is the double swords. Hey, McBluff.
Aha! There we are.
All right.
We got there eventually.
So we got Vasilla rolling a 1, Aldrich 2, Osric 5, Sten a 2. Very nice. Let's see how our friend the
I show
Pyrotorus.
that I got a 4.
Oh, you sure did. I'm looking at the other numbers. All right. So yeah, this guy gets to go first. He's got a 2, Sten's a 4, Osric a 6, Aldrich a 7, and Vasilla's an 8. So I guess my question is, let's see here. We have got somebody I need to ban. Give me just 1 second.
Uh-oh.
Bye-bye.
Be gone, bot.
All right. There we go. Thanks, McBluff. All right. I do need to know whether you guys want to switch out your cards.
Are we still on the stairs?
Everybody's on the stairs. At the very foot of the stairs is Vasilla. So I've got Vasilla, and then I've got Sten and Aldrich, and then behind them I've got Osric.
Well, it looks like we're all faster than it, right?
We are all slower than it.
You are all
Slower than-
slow.
oh, that's right. It's the other way.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess it doesn't much matter what order we go in yet.
My thinking was that I can't swing a sword at it until you get out of my way.
Fair, yeah.
So
So if we just
I feel
put-
like
All right.
we want to maybe go in
Put
up
us your
the
glass.
stairs order. So
Sure. That
Yep.
makes sense.
All right, so
Vasilla-
let's go ahead and make those switches. What do we want to do? Who wants to take the 4 slot?
I think
So
we
you want
want
me to go first?
Yeah, I think we
that's what
do.
want.
Probably go first.
I
think
basically go back up the stairs.
Or
We could
or
talk to it.
otherwise out of the way. Yeah, you do whatever you feel is right. So I think Vasilla, then Sten, Osric, Aldrich.
I think so.
Sure.
Sten, Aldrich, Osric, right?
Right.
We want Osric last.
All right, so
So get my slow
4.
butt out of his way.
Okay. And then Sten, and then so Vasilla, then Sten, is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, put you at 5. And then Aldrich Osric. Osric's going last.
Yes,
That's the plan.
it's like a plan.
Plan adjacent.
All right, beautiful. So let's start with the Pyrotor.
Let's not.
So it just this large stretch screaming at Vasilla. In Forbidden Lands, the monsters have random attacks. So let's see what happens.
We're not with her.
So we got a horn rush. The Minotaur lowers its head with a snort. So this thing comes down and just the head's coming right for you, Vasilla. You have a fast action. What would you like to do?
Duck, dive, dodge, dip, duck.
All right, go to your combat tab on Foundry, and you should have a dodge. You only got 1 success, luckily.
Actually, then, you know what? I'm actually going to use my willpower point and my kin talent because it's a physical attack, right? So I can actually use it. And my kin talent is hard to catch. I can spend a willpower point in combat to avoid being hit by physical attacks.
So this thing lowers its head down eyes blazing fire and just launches towards you. And as this thing's coming towards you, Vasilla does not get hit, and I want to know why.
Because I surprisingly take a step forward, and so is like coming at me, and I just like am under his face by a little bit, and he just like slams his head into the doorway. And so I'm like underneath his head, and I'm just like,
so
like
this thing
dripping.
punches for you, and you just drop. And the angle it was, its horns are not wider than the actual entranceway to the staircase that you came down, but its left horn, because it's headed towards you, is just, and then it just, and the stone comes down, and it's the stone and just dropping just enough that stops you. So that is it for that's it for the Pyrosaur. Let's talk about what Vasilla's going to do.
Okay, so then Vasilla will use her minstrel talent, Path of the Warcry. And I'm going to emit a war cry that grants all my allies within short range a bonus to all attacks during one round until it's your turn to act again in the next round. The rolls are modified by +1 for every willpower you spend. So I'm underneath it. It's like missing. And I'm just going to like stand up right in its face and yell right back at it.
So it's like, I just right on top of you like this. Vasilla doubles down, misses the horn. We've got the stone crushing and falling down.
So inspiring.
Stands up with her hands on her hips. It just lets out her war cry.
I'm going to go
war cry
with...
is, oh no, you didn't.
I don't see a maximum. I have literally 8 willpower at the current. I'm going to use 4 of them to give you all +4 dice.
Damn.
On the attack of this dude, which will be my, I think, slow action most likely. It doesn't say slow action. Combat counts as a slow action. I still have a fast action, which I will then inspirally roar at him and then move out the way.
She starts, we see Vasilla bravely scream into the mouth of this fire demon minotaur thing, and then she goes, ha! Woo! And steps, pushing.
I believe we call that
side.
I believe we call it the better part of valor.
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of Sten, Sten, you're next up.
Right. So, is this thing like blocking the doorway now?
Yes, you would not be able to get through it to the room at this point.
Okay.
Oh,
Can I squeeze past the people behind me on the stairway? Because I am not a frontline person.
Yeah, you can move. You can take your slow action or fast action and head up farther up the steps.
Okay, would that be considered a run?
It'd be a move. You're not running, I assume.
All right. Well, I can shoot and run at the same time as well.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Yeah, because of your talent, sure.
Yeah. So I will scramble up away from this thing and then take a shot at it.
Okay. So as Vasilla charges past you, Sten, I'm imagining you just like moving backwards up the steps, bow out,
saying something like, "Nope, nope, 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 nope."
I'm like, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him.
And
you got that magic buckler on your arm. We see the arrow notch. We see you pull back. Let's shoot.
And this is a 4-die modifier, you say?
Yeah, +4.
Pretty cool. And I got 1 for sharpshooter, so that's a decent shot. Cost me an arrow, but it's all right.
Lost you an arrow, but that is
I'll take that deal. Does this thing look like it has armor?
It does.
I would like it to not to, so I will use Path of the Arrow and spend a willpower point to ignore that armor.
So you pull back. This thing is wrenching its horn out of the frame of the thing, comes up, roars to you, and you can tell like the hide, just the skin is just a very like a thick, almost leathery type skin. And I'm imagining Sten's arrow goes right into the neck. So it's just right into this neck, and it just with a hand that's not holding the cleaver just breaks the arrow. And
okay.
3 damage.
Cool. I'm going to shoot him again because I'm a fast shot.
All right. We're going to use your fast shot, and let's do it again. Oh, actually. Nope. Oh, that's right. You ignored the armor. That's right.
Come on. Get that all out.
That
was much worse.
+4 dice. You didn't lose an arrow. You've
That's
got
true.
one Bane, and the Bane is on attributes.
Yeah,
You
no,
wish
I'm
to
not
push
gonna. I'm not gonna push that at this point. I'll take the one good shot I got. Second one, the roaring is just throwing me off a little bit, so it like caroms off one of the horns.
All right, Aldrich.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna stop contemplating bad ideas, and I'm
Can you bring your
probably
mic just a
just.
little bit closer to you, Nate?
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so I'm gonna stop contemplating bad ideas and hobble my way back behind our
and start
heroic fighter.
executing them.
I'll try to stay near Vasilla just in case. But yeah, I'm just gonna get out of the way. Like, oh god.
And I'm
Panic
imagining it's between your left mangled foot and the fact that you can barely take a full breath. I'm
Mhm.
imagining you moving up like a child goes up the steps when they're a toddler, like your butt, and then you're just like up the steps, butt all the way up.
At the very least, if there's a railing, like I'm like on the stair railing, just like, oh nope, all right, you guys got this.
So if you
Go
want to
wee.
use both your fast and your slow, you'll be able to get up there.
I
and
can
get
only move as a slow,
then
'cause of
that
my
makes
foot.
that easy. That is your slow
Oof.
action.
so I just want to get behind Osric.
This now puts Osric in front of everybody. So Osric, you see this, the horns break free. You see it kind of trying to center itself, and quick calculations, this thing can make it up the steps.
Oh, fun. So I think
If it's
I
not
would
aimed
like
at the
to
wall.
charge down the stairs at it so that it
Okay.
does not come up the stairs and make this any more difficult.
And that's a talent you have, right? That allows you to charge.
Yes, I have a talent. I think the talent is called melee charge.
And what does it allow you to do?
That talent allows me to move near or from near to arm's length, and I can attack in the same action.
All right. So you
As my slow
charge
action.
down the steps, draw Rustbite, I assume. Or you had Rustbite out.
I've had rust. Yeah,
Yep.
This has been a
We're not
Rustbite
wandering
drawn
around the
sort of
castle unarmed.
Yeah,
sort
this
of
is a
castle.
hostile environment.
This is a not putting that away sort of place.
Let's do it.
And so I will take a slash at.
And don't forget, you get the +4 from Vasilla's inspiring war cry.
All right, I get a +1
This is a
from
big
sword
roll.
fighter. I get a +1 from melee charge because it is rank 2, so I get a +1 when I charge.
There's gonna be a lot of dice.
And is the
It is
the
a demon.
Pyrotorus a demon? So
It
my
counts as a
artifact die
demon as far
changes
as
to a
Rustbite is
D10.
concerned.
Sweet.
So you get the better artifact die.
It is a D10, right? I'm remembering that correctly.
Is a D10 and a D12? Double check it here.
I'll just open this real quick. Sorry, yeah, it's a D10 against demons up from a
Got
D8.
it. Right.
All right. Here goes
Get 'em.
nothing. And raw with the now infamous battle cry of Osric, which is ah!
All right. So you end up with 2 hits for 3 damage. Need to know if you
Oh
want.
shit! I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Did you hit push?
I did.
You should probably have kept that.
Sorry,
Well,
this is a good
I
time
wanted to
push
expand the
regardless.
results to see where they were,
Oh,
so
good
that
point.
I could make a
Good point.
decision about that, and I accidentally hit the push button.
All right. So this is where Jim gets to be honest or not, because you know what the push does. would
can I
Osric push
see?
this?
Well, I would. I
You
still want
you
to see
had-
what it was before, and I actually
There was one
Yeah,
There
bane on
was
your strength.
2 and no banes.
Yeah,
there was no banes,
Was there
but I
not?
just don't know where
No,
the
it was
hits were.
2. It was 2 hits for 3
Ah.
damage and
Yeah.
0 banes.
I thought there was a bane there. Okay, never
No,
mind.
because I remember thinking there's no banes. Of course
Right.
you push
I
this.
thought that, and that was kind of where I was at. Is
Yeah,
that I
there was
feel like
0
I'm gonna
banes.
push this roll,
Yeah.
but if the hits were all in skill dice, then I might have changed my mind, and I just don't know where they were.
Mhm.
Well, you remember your hits stay. You don't re-roll your hits.
Right. You don't re-roll hits, but if the hits were on like skill dice, then that's less chances for a bane. Whereas
I
if
see
they
what
were
you're
all
saying.
on
Right,
skill
right.
dice, then there's still banes to get.
Gotcha.
Well, but
You've got 7 hits now, for a
I'm-
total of 8 damage.
and I will take that point, and the point is added to my strength
It
already,
should,
so I
it should
feel
be automatically
good
done
about
by
where we're
Foundry.
at.
We're going to give him a chance to do a paltry 2 armor
Whew.
roll, which he does not take. Talk to me about the dead Minotaur. What happens?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I feel like again, the sword definitely wants to kill demons. As far as Osric's concerned, you know, it you can almost feel the vibrations of the blade as it nears demons. And I think as he makes this charge forward, he just again begins to just sort of hack away at it back and forth until as it pushes back, just hacks away at it piece by piece until it finally falls over.
And I'm imagining it was leaning forward, just ready to come right up the stairs. And I think maybe it was knew you were like a challenge, but didn't know what Rustbite could do, right? And so as you come down, it braced and was leaning into you, and it was ready. I mean, it took an arrow. I'll take a slash from his puny little toothpick, and then just Rustbite just hungers and just cleaves right into him. And as he falls backwards from the force of you and of Rustbite and just the cleaving of him, it falls back. You see the red in the nostrils and the eyes kind of go just black like coal, and you see the smoke come up from it. And it's just lying in this hay inside of this huge empty room. And just the last gasping scream just echoes in the small stairwell that you guys are. And it's just its body is there. It's just this dark red molasses blood is just coming out of the wound.
Damnation.
That was
never to piss you off.
That was decisive.
You got it.
Inspiring songs.
See, knew you had it the whole time. I'm just gonna like walk right by him into the room. Like I wasn't at all scared and running.
Right.
Yeah.
Whew, well,
So Vasily, you walk down into the room. You're right at the hooves of this huge body. You can see in this room a door that leads to another, some sort of interior. It's not closed. It doesn't have an actual door. It's more of an archway. You've got the table where it grabbed its cleavers, this huge butcher's block thick table. And you can see chains that are hanging from the wall that are built with shackles to, chain people and to keep them captive here.
From the original description, I thought he was chained there. Wrong. Might have made an assumption there. All right. Well, I'm going to kick him because obviously I did all the work.
final blow. Yep.
And then I'm going to go look at the next door.
Are there any people actually chained in this room, or is it
There are
just chains
not.
that are and no people?
I guess I should not have assumed that there was.
Right. Craig
I figured
usually
that would
tells.
be detailed and it made its way forward.
Other than the serpent, the room looks empty.
Craig, remind me, when we were up on the roof and we looked down, we saw a couple figures like in the courtyard or outside this tower.
Correct.
Do I
And-
think they're close enough that they would have heard all that nonsense?
There's a chance of it, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it really depends, I think, on how thick these walls are. Because they were good. I mean, they were a good 40 yards away
Okay.
from the castle itself. Kind of sitting there on that like rock bench, and it was as best as you could tell. It was definitely Marigold because she kind of made eye contact with you,
Right.
and then it looked like she was talking to Zertome.
Right. Well, we ought to be ready. Somebody might have heard that.
At the risk of sounding a bit too munchkin-y, you mentioned there were cleavers.
This thing was holding a cleaver that was easily the size of Vasilla.
Oh, wow. Okay. So huge. Got it.
Yeah.
As far as cleavers go. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably a bit unwieldy for even me.
Yeah. Even for Osric, I think this thing would be difficult to fight with.
Okay, cool. Just curious. Looking to upgrade my knife.
What is it? Now that's a knife. So anyway, I'm going to go into the next room. I'm just going to be like, well, look, I'm like, we gotta make sure he doesn't hear us. I'm just gonna peek my head in the next room.
Right.
And there is only the one door, right?
Correct. So, Vasily, you come into the next room, and it's this huge, huge room, and you're not an architect or an engineer, but you still can get a sense of kind of where you are, right? Where you've gone above as you guys were at the higher levels as you went down this tower. And as best as you can tell, this now is taking you back into the main building, right? As opposed to the side tower that you just went to the roof of and went down. And at some point, this was probably a kitchen. And based on the size of it, was meant to feed a lot of people at any point. So a banquet style kitchen. And on the floor, you can see broken pottery. You can see vines, but not your vines, and vegetation that's, kind of breaking the stone on the wall. There is a smell like food has been made here somewhat recently. But looking around, it's difficult to tell where. And as you kind of survey the room, everything looks normal for what this is supposed to be, except on the far side, on the far, far wall. You can see glass tubes running from the ceiling all the way down the wall, ending in those big jars you saw on the second floor before. And you can see that red liquid dripping as it slowly fills the jar. Aldrich, the same strong magic you felt in that room, you can feel coming from that part of this room.
Interesting.
There is a large closed wooden door that obviously leads somewhere else.
The tubes are coming like through a little hole in the ceiling, down into the room, and then dripping into the jars.
Yep. And the one thing I will tell you, Vasilla, is kind of like, thinking about this is here, we were up there, we walked this far. You would bet even money that you're now directly below whatever room that woman went into.
Hmm.
Interesting.
No, he said he had a sister, also never showed her face, and he always wears a mask. And the woman that we saw, or at least the feminine figure we saw, refused to show us her face, kept her face away from us, and then had a face on pegs in the wall, like carefully stored.
Racked,
looking.
yeah.
Yeah, and you though you couldn't make out whose face it was. It wasn't a familiar face. You could tell
face,
it was a man's face.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to feel like that is where we need to be.
Yeah. Do we back or?
I don't think it doesn't look like there's another way to get up from here, right? There's just the door, like kind of off on the side.
Yeah, so
the staircase.
It's hard to tell where there's no way of knowing exactly where the door coming off this kitchen would go to. It's headed towards the staircase that you went up initially, right? With the from the broken vine room. But it's not the next. That there's going to be at least one other room before you get far enough over there.
Well, I guess the question is, do we feel like exploring further, or do we just want to go up and back across?
Being exposed, if they did hear the noise, being exposed out on that bridge is probably not great.
Yeah, we probably need to just go as directly as possible.
Okay. I mean, if anybody out in the courtyard heard us, that's the door they're going to be coming towards. So
it's true. We could block that door and go up. Can you hear anything? Well, all I hear is ringing.
There was no door in the space we came in to go up, right? That space was a broken down wall, right?
There was also an archway that led to another room that you guys did not take. You went directly to the stairs during the attack.
But we'll go there.
But there wasn't like a front facing outside door.
No.
Yeah.
But it seems like we could go up to the floor that we were just above and over to this room roughly that the liquid is dripping out of.
No,
I think the idea
if
that being exposed on the bridge is a concern is valid. So it makes sense to me to keep going forward back towards what will eventually be the door that we didn't take, we think.
okay.
Right, because we didn't. There was nothing between the Airy where the nest was down to the Minotaur, the pyro cow. Like that was all one straight staircase, right? Okay.
Okay, well, let's do it as quiet as we can.
Agreed.
Who's opening the door?
I mean, I'll do it.
That's
I was gonna say,
what
I feel
I
like if
thought.
there's any hesitation, it's Vasilla.
It's like, oh, I'll do it. Sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
I wait to see if someone else wants to open the door, and when there's clearly everyone's just like staring at each other, I'm like,
Sure. Sure.
Imagining
I
Vasilla.
think I'm moving towards the front now, though. Like,
Yeah.
I'm no longer watching the back of this particular.
You're going to be there with her.
process. Yeah.
So as you move that way, Vasilla, you go up and with a confidence, you put your hand on the door to kind of push it open, and with one hand, you're not pushing this thing open. Eventually, it takes both hands and a lean, and as the door opens up. This takes you to another room. This is a long room. On the very far back left corner, you can see an archway that looks a lot like the archway you saw as you came in, and you can see that it opens out. And you can see the dead vines had stretched themselves into this part of the room as well, but they are as dark brown and as brittle from where you are as they when you left them. Along the walls is a series of tapestries. Some of them are designs, some of them are symbols, some of them are in pretty decent shape, some have been here for a very, very long time, and they show it. In the middle, you have a long dining table, but there's only one chair, and it's at the far end.
is anyone in it?
There is not.
Oh, I asked the pregnant question. Is there anyone else in the room that we notice that's not Batman style sitting at the end of this table?
Best as you can tell, the room is empty.
All right. Well, I'm going to walk in.
I guess I'm gonna
Who's
have to
following?
follow.
I'll come along. Yep.
Yep, absolutely. Slowly.
Like other than like making sure no one's there, I'm just going right across to the room of the vine so we can go back up, complete the circuit, and go where we think we should.
Yeah, so you head that way, Vasilla, without interruption. You see, as you're walking, though, the layer of dust that's on the majority of the table, except at the very end. You can tell that has been used. The dust has been cleared off. You get to the archway. It takes you to the place where you all almost died. But you do see the ground and the stonework covered in just this dried up vegetation vine that attacked you when you came in. You can see the broken walls that led to the outside, which is what was used to come into this castle. And then you see, of course, the spiral staircase, which you've already gone up once tonight.
And might as well make it twice.
Guess we're going up again, huh?
Aldrich notably is like watching his feet as he's crossing this room. Like just eyes down the whole time, glance up
Just
to
a-
make sure he's not gonna
Just a slight
Run
fine
into a wall.
phobia.
Yeah, I'll be
little bit.
I'll be kind of eyeing any other doors that lead into here, like that would lead outside, just in case anybody gets clever and comes through.
So if you remember, the staircase allows you to go 2 by 2. So who's going up first?
My buddy Osric and me. My
I
buddy.
think so. I think
my
so.
buddy. My buddy Osric and me.
All right. So Osric and Vasilla work their way up. And I need a stealth roll.
This
So
again.
I'm going to give you a +2 because you are aware of the boars that are at the top of the steps. So let's get one from
Oh, I'm
Osric
glad-
and one from Vasilla.
I'm glad you reminded me. Because I was not aware of the boars. Osric was, I'm sure. Can I just add them into the stealth? Because I don't have a stealth. Is that where they go?
If you click on the stealth skill, even if you have a 0 in it,
Uh-huh.
It should
Oh,
give
and
you
I
the
can just
option
say
to +2.
+2 as my
Right.
Why did I not get?
modifier.
Shouldn't it be your? Oh, I see. Never mind.
Cool. Cool.
So, Vasily, you fail this. Do you want to push it?
Nope.
No. Osric, you fail it. Do you wish to push it?
I feel like Osric is going to try to be very as quiet as possible, so he is going to push it
Okay.
because it's not like he would know that Vasily
Mhm.
has failed this check.
All right. With no banes.
Nice.
So, I want to get a sense of Osric and Vasily are headed up. Osric is about to not be stealthy. Vasily is about to not be stealthy. Osric catches himself, but Vasily doesn't. So walk me through what happens as we're headed up these steps.
So imagine that we're walking up the steps, and I think that Vasila just like considers the boars a non-issue, and so she like, so she's like looking at Osric, you know, is walking up the stairs, and like, so there's this lady without a face. I don't think you saw her before, and just like trips and just like kicks the stair right in front of her. And it's like, oh, or whatever, you know, ouch. Insert word. And
My thinking was, don't hit that step. It's really squeaky. And it's like,
Squeaky stone step. So you make a clang, Vasily, as you land, and you hear the commotion up above. You can tell these boars are now awake, and you can hear them grunting and making a commotion at the top of the steps.
all right, I'm gonna start like trying to talk to them in the tone that she, the creature, did. Like, oh, you're fine, little babies. Like, this is no problem.
Hey,
Like,
buddy.
As you work your way up
that's
the
a good
spiral,
boar.
at first, of course, you have no visibility to these things. You can hear them before you can see them. But as you work up the spiral staircase and you get to where they're visible, luckily, obviously, the chains that are attached to their hind legs that attach them to the wall are such that they can't make it into the stairwell, but they're right at the entrance, and you just see them with the boar teeth coming from above. And as soon as they see you, they what sounds like, you know, just making noises becomes a focused growl and an intense look at you, Vasily. And your kind words initially don't seem to factor in. I will take an animal handling if you want to try that.
oh, my best skill. Yeah, I'm gonna clearly try to like talk them down.
I mean, sure, we've established that you're great with animals. Well, you wanted to raise those bear cubs as your own, so.
I mean, I did. I was gonna grow with them.
Okay.
I'm gonna push it.
Oh dear.
I'm sure this is fine.
Probably fine. Sure.
All right, we got a 6.
And no
right.
additional banes. All right.
So you've got one damage to your empathy.
Mm-hmm.
You work your way up, and both of them are just growling, and just the slobber's coming off of them. And these things are normal boars. They're large, but they're not like demon fire boars, which you have fought already. These look like just normal pre-demon boars. Just going. And Vasily, I'm imagining you putting your hand out, trying to mimic this woman, and this is going to get them to stop making noises and kind of get less aggressive, but I don't know how. I need you to help me with that.
Okay, so I'm trying to talk them down, and I think so I think I launch into like a when that's not working so well, then like my words like turn into like a lullaby and like a trancing lullaby that just like you would use that my mom sang to me to put me to sleep. And then like that starts kind of working. But the bane then is like, it makes me think about my mom and this apparently brother I have, that like my memories of my mom and my childhood are tainted with this secret. And so I think it's like, between all the fear and everything, and then like this, like, but this safety and security that I've always had is like starting to chip. I think is what is wears away at my empathy.
I like that a lot. And the reaction from the boars as you're doing that, Vasila, is you turn from speaking to song, breaking from what this woman did. It seems to affect the left boar first. So the left boar just kind of stops its growling, stops its snapping, trying to get closer to you, straining at its back leg, which is chained to the wall. And the other one is continuing to go and go. And this thing just throws its weight into it and just knocks the other one. And they seem grumpy, annoyed, and just instead of like, going to sleep, they just both gotta go and just kind of move over to their bed and just kind of curl and lay down on the hay bed that's there. Both of them
lots of experience.
Both of them are maintaining and looking at you. And you guys have a clear way back up onto the second floor hallway.
Well, I'll be damned. I guess we should head over towards where her door is.
Yeah, I'll stop and gather my note, my little poem I wrote. I'm gonna read it to her. I'm not. I'm like, I'll save this.
Did you slide it under the door? I can't remember.
No, I left it on the table.
Oh, that's right.
Like so that they could come out and read it the next day.
That's right. That's right.
While we're on the way over, Sten is going to stop and look at this face. See if there's anything else distinctive about it from all the other severed faces I've seen. I mean, this looks like literally skin that was peeled off someone, right? This is not like a leather mask or anything.
So oddly, there's something familiar about it for you, Sten, and the reason is because you have cleaned animals before, right? You have cleaned hide and torn hide off of beasts. And that's what this looks like. Though the edging of where this would have been peeled off is incredibly clean. So it's not a jagged edge. It's a precise, clean edge. And I don't know if you touch it or not, but you can kind of get to the side a little bit and see that it's been cured on the inside. Where the eye sockets would be all pulled away. And I don't know how to put this without being disgusting, but like whoever did this knew what they were doing, because even the flesh of the nose was cleanly taken off. And, other than where it is cut around the eyes and where it's cut around the edges of the face, this could easily be put on as a mask. That's how clean and well it looks.
Aldrich, is there any magic on this thing?
Well, let me take a look at it. Do I sense anything?
You don't, Aldrich.
Nope. It's just a face.
Good. Sten grabs it, rolls it up, sticks it in a pouch.
Okay. That's happening.
I'm not going to add face to your inventory.
No, okay. All right.
How much does face weigh?
It's tiny.
And if anybody gives me a look, he'll just say bargaining chip.
Aldrich would have been the one giving you the look as you
Okay.
snatched it from right in front of him, just like.
Yeah, I mean, I probably was weird, and I'm like, Sten.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, so we're headed to the door.
Yep.
Sounds
I
like
think
it.
so.
All right, so the four of you head to the door. Is it once again Vasila who's going to open the door?
I mean, I'm going to change my last name to Vasila Door Opener.
I mean, if we're going to try and do it quietly, I can be fairly stealthy. And I think we should try and do it quietly.
I don't disagree.
That sounds
with
like
the
you're
quiet
volunteering
plan.
to open the door.
I guess I am. Okay.
Yeah, that's sure what that sounded
That
like.
sounded a lot like you
You
wanted to open
logicked
this door.
yourself right into that.
Yep.
All right. So if we're going to try to open this door, Sten, it's obvious. You immediately can tell it's not a locked door.
Okay.
Does appear to have a latch though. So there is, you're going to have to take some action to unlatch the door, which the handle is set for.
Right. So wait,
I will need a
the
roll.
latch is on this side or on the far side?
It's going to be on your left side. So the
Okay.
door opens to the right.
Okay.
And then you can tell it opens into the room.
Okay. But I mean when with the latch, you're not talking like a little hanging thing like this. You're just talking about literally what's keeping it shut right now.
Exactly.
All right, cool. So I will very, carefully put my hand on the thing and try and get it and just sort of signal to everybody, 3, 2, 1, and then quietly push it open.
Give me a stealth roll.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that.
You begin pushing it, Sten. And you're trying to keep it at a pace where it's nice and quiet. You start to hear a little noise coming from the hinges, and you immediately instinctively know to slow the hell down.
Mm-hmm.
And you have now the ability, you've opened up enough where you've got a clear view into the room. It'll take a little bit more in order to be able to enter the room. But let me stop you here, and then you can continue opening the door if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike all of the stone floors that you've seen so far, this has several different carpets laid out. There's one by the door where you are, and you can tell that it is an old carpet, but incredibly well taken care of. Along the walls, you see tapestries similar in style and fashion as you saw down in this dining area on the first floor, except the condition, again, very, very well kept. There is kind of sitting furniture on the left-hand side. There's a large carpet in the center of the room. On the far side of the room, you can see an archway that leads to an open-air balcony. But the major feature of the room is in the center on that center carpet. And it's a very, very large 4-post canopy bed. And you can see the bed is neat, but it's not empty. You can see there's a figure under the sheets of the bed.
Can we see enough of the room to know there's nobody in the room that's not in the bed?
You can see about 3/4 of the room. It's going to take a little bit more of a push, and you're going to have to kind of stick your head in to get the full view.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna sort of pause for a moment to make sure that the figure in the bed doesn't sit up or react like it's seen us or heard us. And then if that doesn't happen, I will kind of lift up on the door a little bit, like just kind of pick the handle up a little bit to leave a little bit of the weight off the hinges and finish opening it.
As you continue opening the door, you take in the rest of the room, and luxury is the word that pops into your head, especially in contrast to all of the other areas that you've come in. You see, obviously, a wardrobe chest that is absolutely gorgeous, hand carved off to the far left corner. You see a table that has a huge, beautiful mirror, and the mirror of that size may be the most luxurious thing in this room. To have a piece of mirror that large with the wood ingrained all around it, and whomever or whatever is in the bed does not seem to be reacting to the door being opened.
Okay. Kind of look at the rest of the group.
And you said there's a balcony, but no other doors?
Correct.
And we don't see anything that obviously would connect to those tubes we saw below this.
From where you are, no.
Okay.
And the figure in the bed, from our current vantage, we can't tell if it's the size of the woman that entered the room.
Yeah, it's the side. It could be her.
Okay.
It definitely doesn't have horns.
Okay. Not even little
Oh,
cute
wow.
ones. Um,
Um,
Craig, since this is a big, like, poofy luxury bed, are like the bedclothes on the side long enough that something could be under the bed and we wouldn't see it?
For it, standing, you cannot see under the bed.
Okay.
But based on the posts, sure, something
Okay.
could definitely be under the bed.
Okay.
You also tell if you were to drop to the ground, the sheets don't reach the floor.
Mm-hmm.
is the figure sleeping in the center or on one side of the bed?
It is sleeping on the far side of the bed towards the balcony. But the other side of the bed looks like it's freshly made.
Okay. I kind of gesture to everybody else to come in.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I will use my height challenged self to be able to get looking under the bed without like doing a full drop. You know, I can be like,
And I should have talked about the lighting. There are candelabras set aside along the walls, but what really is providing the most light is the moon coming in from the open air balcony. So Vasily, as you drop to the ground and just kind of put your head down to the ground and kind of look into the bed, the moonlight is spilling in under the bed. And you can see a series of tubes that are running from the bed into the ground, which aligns to what you saw in the kitchen.
Once everybody's inside, I'm going to quietly shut the door behind us.
is there a lock on the side that we can see?
Yeah, it could be locked. You want to lock yourselves in?
Not right now.
Do I think I can unlock it readily enough?
It would be very easy to do.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Very
Then yes,
easy
I will lock
mechanism.
it for right now.
Okay. And Sten, as you hit that lock,
Mm-hmm.
you hear a voice come from the bed. And it's a voice you've heard before. And she says, "Are all four of you staying?"
Well, you see, we've come to rescue you.
Rescue me.
Yeah. You're being drained by those things under your bed into your pots.
So she sits up, Vasila, keeping her back to you. These gorgeous Egyptian threaded sheets just kind of slide off of her back as she sleeps up, and you can tell that she is apparently not wearing anything. And she's got this beautiful, like long brownish reddish hair runs down her back, and she kind of sits up, and you see her kind of arch her back as kind of a stretch. And she said, I thought I told you I was tired."
You did. You did. But then we went to walk a while more and we were attacked by demons.
She stands up. Doesn't seem to be reacting to when you said that. And she turns to face you. She is completely nude. Her body is that of a younger woman. Early 20s. And I think all of you have been trying to figure out because of the way that she obviously was shielding her face. There's almost kind of that anticipation as she turns.
Are there Medusas in this world, Craig?
Not that Sten knows about.
Exactly.
And you guys, all four of you, get a full view of her face. And it's probably one of the prettiest women you've ever seen. Just beautiful, soft features. Everything seems perfectly proportioned. Her eyes are just big enough. Her nose is just in the right place. Her lips are just full enough. And Sten's cold heart skips for a second. Aldrich is a little bit goofy teenager flutters in his stomach. Osric, I think, reacts somewhat similar to Sten, and I think there's even a pitter from Vasilla as well. And she's obviously very comfortable and casual about her lack of clothing. She doesn't seem at all self-conscious about it. And she just kind of sits back on the bed and turns to face you and says, looking straight at you, Nate, "My dear, you don't look well. Why don't you come here?" And she just kind of pats on the bed next to her.
Oh, geez.
You a Valkyrie?
Oh, what? Do I look like a warrior?
I've stopped relying on first impressions.
You're welcome to join as well.
I'm good, thank you.
You with the sword. You look tired.
I think that Osric is a bit, I want to say a bit embarrassed, and he's sort of kind of, glancing off to the side and not looking directly at her. And he says, no, we've come to rescue the Valkyrie. If you can point us, if you are not her, if you could tell us how to find her, then we can be out of your way.
There's no people in the castle. Zertorm's not here. I know nothing of a Valkyrie. Come, sit.
Wait, are you Zertom's sister? That's who you must be if you're not the Valkyrie.
And she actually, for the first time, kind of breaks her facial expression, which has been very soothing and very calm. And she kind of smirks a little bit. And she goes, "Oh, no. I'm not his sister. We're partners."
Oh, well.
But I have time for everybody. Come sit.
Can I roll insight? Aldrich is tired and he's really considering it, but he trusts nothing right
Bed
now.
looks really comfy.
So there's no roll needed here, Nate. All four of you, like she said it once, it seemed kind of warm and inviting, but it seems like it's the period to every sentence. And I think that all four of the characters are just like, somebody really wants us to sit on this bed.
Yeah.
Now, I again, no roll needed, Nate. I trust that you can role play whether Aldrich senses it's off, right? But what Aldrich does about it is up to you.
The people of the village seem convinced. There are rumors about that there is a Valkyrie within the walls of this place. You know nothing of this.
I know all the little people talk. None of them knows what happens in these walls.
So what does happen in these walls? What are you partners in?
We're partners to finally end the current age that we're in. He thinks all of the people out there, and she kind of gestures to the balcony, that is going to be an army that he needs. If she's going to take it down, if he's going to take it down, he also understands he's going to need much more. Now, enough talk. There's room for everybody. Come sit. I insist.
Sten pulls the face out of his pouch.
And she visibly reacts. That doesn't belong to you.
Nope. But pulls his belt knife out.
Oh, jeez.
Bothers me. Things like this. Seeing somebody take a piece of a human being like that and treat it this way.
That was given voluntarily.
Oh, really?
I suppose they sat on your bed too.
I've been polite and I have been kind. And I'm going to ask this once. Lay it on the table. It does not belong to you.
No, I don't think I will.
There's kind of a long pause where she's almost frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes locked on you,
Mm-hmm.
Sten. In an almost unnatural way, she stands, but her head never reacts to her body moving. You know, like if someone were to stand up, their head would wobble. Her head is perfectly still as she just gracefully stands up from the bed.
Okay. I sort of take the point of my knife. I have the face kind of stretched out in one hand, just kind of put the point of my knife at the forehead of the thing. Look back at her.
Hey. We just want to know what the blood thing is. Also, like, why there's a thing upstairs that summons demons or whatever it does.
She puts her hand up at a gesture towards you, Vasil, that is obviously a dismissive silence type gesture.
I got no time for you right now.
Yeah. Locked on you, Sten. And the hand, it's kind of outstretched in front of her, right? She's like stretched towards Vasilla.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have, I think of all of you will see this, but Vasilla is going to notice at first because of the gesture towards her is first a bit of a sparkle, almost like her skin is becoming shinier, just reflecting the moonlight differently, but slowly to the point at a speed where time seems weird, right? Like maybe this is all happening in a half second or 2 seconds, but it seems slower than that, but you sense that it's slower as it starts to reflect the moon light that is flooding the room. And then, is she glowing? She seems to be putting off light. And as soon as you are staring at her and you're seeing the skin kind of become shiny and almost looks like she's giving off light, it's blinding when she bursts into flames.
Oh no.
Let's take a break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Where's my break? So her form, as she bursts into flames, and I think we have as a touchstone for this, imagine the Human Torch, right? So she bursts into flames. You can still see the edging of her body inside of these flames. Her face now exaggerates large, and where the eyes were is now just pure darkness. And her body seems to grow as this woman bursts into flames. We got to roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Really?
Okay.
Damn it.
I know how to do this now. Oh, what's the encounter?
Allegedly.
For this day. Also, sorry,
I
mate.
don't know
I
if
tried
we've
to
ever
talk this
had
out of this combat. I couldn't do it.
2 combats in the same session before.
Did I roll? No.
All right.
I
Yep.
think.
I've got
Oh,
Osri
okay.
at 9. I got Sten at 1. I don't have a roll for you yet, Aldrich.
Okay, there we are. I clicked it and then someone else clicked it, so my thing it shifted.
And I
away
need
from me.
Vasilla.
Why don't I see our portraits don't exist anymore for me to do
No, but
this.
if you go over to the combat, for some reason it's not coming up. I don't know why.
Right, I see actions, I see armor. At the bottom, I see unarmed strike, shove, disarm, grapple, break free, grapple, attack, dodge, retreat.
No, sorry, on the right side where the chat
chat
is.
is.
If you
Go to the double
second icon is
swords.
combat tracker.
At the very
Oh.
top of the chat,
Got it.
there's a parchment, and then there's a combat tracker. Click that, and it'll bring up the list.
That'd be 2 dice by Vasilla.
God damn it.
You see it or no?
For me.
Yep.
No.
Technology. There we
There
go.
we are.
All right.
Thank
And
you.
then Brynhilda. Okay.
Hmm.
So the order is Sten Aldrich, Vasilla Osric. Do we want to make any changes to that?
We all are in front of her.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the energy for another war cry, I feel like that's pretty useful.
Yeah, I do. I've got one more good war cry in me.
Although, honestly, I'm at best going to get one shot this turn, so maybe we wait. I don't know.
Let's be quick. What do we
Alright.
want to do? Vasilla first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, I think Sten is the person with the knife in the face. I think he goes
Yes.
first.
Okay. And then second, Vasilla.
Yeah.
All right. I've got Aldrich third, Osric fourth. Do we want to switch?
I think we're good.
That's probably fine. Yeah.
All right. We'll start with you, Sten.
Okay. Sten says, we killed 3 demons already this week. We're not scared of you. And just shoves the knife through the forehead of the thing and twists so it'll leave like a big, obvious open scar if anyone were to say put it on.
Yeah. And so you stab it into this, and it's almost like paper. It's so fragile, and you slice open the forehead of this mask, and if she could seem more enraged as you do that, she does.
Good.
I'll count that as a quick action.
Question mark?
And then I would like to just drop that and take a shot at her. Now, Fast Shooter says I don't need to ready weapon before I shoot, but I'm
And normally
guessing
that
I would probably still need to get the bow out.
Correct.
All right. So
Correct.
basically,
you have to use
I
your-
just
use
will
your
drop that to
slope.
the floor and get my bow ready, and that's my turn. Maybe
drop
step
the-
back a pace or two if I can.
You drop the
Drop the knife in the face on the floor. I
Yep.
don't have time to
and
put
you,
it
and you
away.
immediately draw the bow.
Mhm.
The arrow is ready. We go to Vasilla.
I'm going to scream a bellowing war cry. I think I was trying to figure out what I wanted the war cry to be this time, and I think it's literally just like a mix of like fear and adrenaline, and it's not like witty or smart or anything that's like written in a movie. She just is like literally just shouting in anger and frustration at like everything being a demon and bad.
Vasilla's had a day.
I have
She, like-
had enough of this.
And she'll take out her knife, and then she's going to like try to scrabble under the bed.
Okay. So as a quick action, we'll have you heading towards the bed. I'll allow you to get to the bed. You won't be able to get
yeah.
under it.
Cool.
Yeah, Raven.
And I'm going to blow 4. I'll go 4 again. That leaves me with 1 willpower to dodge if I need to.
Wow. So you're going to do a 4 willpower scream. Oof. So everybody's going to be at +4 again.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got you running towards her.
I feel like that's much. Yeah.
You're running towards her to kind of get under the bed, and that takes us to Aldrich.
Okay. I kind of want to get a feel like, because she just lit into fire. Like, what am I feeling from her magic wise?
It's almost blinding, and
Okay.
from like normally we've been having Aldrich taste magic. This is now just a visible, just overwhelming, probably the most magic you've ever been in the same room with.
It just keeps going up. Keep escalating, Craig.
New personal best.
Well, if you're gonna describe it like that,
Then he goes and licks her.
Hey now.
He changes his mind and sits on the bed.
But Vasilla just dove into the middle of the room. Oh goodness. I think I just kind of get out of the way, and I have my knife ready just in case she moves closer. I'm gonna kind of stay and bodyguard Sten just in case she decides to rush him for his insolence.
His temerity of face slashing.
Yep.
All right, what moves us to Osric?
Go, Osri, go.
I mean, I guess I have to, because there's no way we're talking our way back out of there. She's not
I
going to
don't
back
think
down.
so.
This is
She
not how
literally
that
lit
works.
herself on fire for this, so.
And then I made her madder.
And then Sten decided that was the
and then
time
said,
to
you know
piss
what?
her off.
Yeah, let's make her mad. I think Osric is still a bit taken back because, frankly, the last time there was a big, giant, fiery thing, this did not go well for him.
Yeah, and unlike the Minotaur and the Boar that you have fought at this point, those were solid, beings that were infused with like demon flame. It felt like, right? But they still had a form, whereas she, if anything, is pure fire. She is different.
But I think he still is going to have to steal his nerve, and he is going to take a swing with if he needs to move to get there. I think he wants to.
You can do a
position him-
charge and get to her and swing.
I think as he does so, he wants to position himself sort of between her and the collective, us. I think if I'm imagining that Vasilla is sort of off to the side, so I can't really be between her and everybody. But I think I want
she's
to
working her way under the bed, so I agree. And
so
you'd
I
have to
think
go around the right side of the bed to get to
Yeah.
her.
And so I think I want to be between her and Sten, if I can be.
Too much between her because I ain't gonna try and shoot her.
Well, but I want her to not be able to get to you without going through
Physically,
me.
you don't want her. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
All right, you're gonna be at a +4. Let's make a swing.
All right.
+5 because you charged.
Oh, +5 because +6 because of his other
Yeah,
talent.
but
So extra 6 dice. Is that right?
It's 1 for sword fighter, 1 for melee charge, and
4 from Vasilla.
4 from.
4 for the tiniest
Oh.
person's rage.
Wait,
Get him right.
let's try this again. Okay, because that puts them there, and then so it changes.
She's a demon, I'm going to guess. So a D10.
She does have the name.
It
demon,
does say
right? So
demon on the token.
so we're going to change
use a
that artifact
D10.
die to a D10. My strength is down to 4 because things have happened since then.
10!
Oh, that 10 though.
I wouldn't push this one, but still.
I'm looking this time. I hit the right look
Well,
button this time.
There's no Banes.
There are no banes.
Oh, you're right. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Oh, greedy.
I think I am greedy.
I
Even
think
though
honestly, this is the time to do it. 'Cause I feel like
it's so scary.
she's
She's
gonna
so
be
scary,
bad.
Craig.
Exciting. This is exciting. Oh.
yes,
And on the bright side,
yes.
that's where we're at. And again, I think it's
You're a
more. Once he
machine.
finally steals himself, he begins to, and the sword knows. And once the sword knows, then he sort of starts to gain that confidence to swing again and swing again.
You charge in, Osric, and as you get closer, holding Rustbite, you can feel Rustbite get hungry in your hand. You can feel the power from Rustbite. And as you rear back for your charge, you're able to kind of navigate around the 4 corners of this bed to come up to this. And the heat coming off of this woman is so intense. And with precision, like we haven't seen since last time you fought a demon.
Half an hour ago.
Your Rustbite comes slashing across, and you see the blade cut into the fire of this woman, and you can see as it slices through the center of where her torso would be. And as that's happening, and this is all happening very, very quickly, right? As Rustbite is halfway into her, something feels different in the hand. And it's almost like emotion that you're feeling from Rustbite. And you continue the slash and it cuts across and your blade comes down into the side of the bed. And she seems completely unaffected.
Oh no. Oh no.
Her turn. She doesn't react when the sword is raised, does not react as the sword is cutting across and splitting her and cutting her in half, but in no way seems to have any way altered her form. It's just you just cut through the fire. She opens her mouth and fire just coming towards Osric.
I think Osric will attempt to dodge out of the way.
You cannot parry this, you can only dodge. So if you wish to dodge, you can.
I will attempt to dodge if I can find that.
Combat on your character sheet at the bottom.
Oh, got it. Fantastic.
Okay,
Yeah, you do
so
what you can do.
you're going to dodge two of them. So I need you to take 1 damage to your strength. The fire is coming for your entire person, and you're able to move far enough away, but you do get some of the breath hits your left arm as you're kind of pulling away off to the right, your right from her left. The flames just spread from her mouth, and the one thing everybody notices, Osric, there's too much happening for you to notice this. As it hits the bed, corner of the bed, one of the 4 corners holding up the canopy, you can see the wood, the carved wood, reacting as you would expect wood to react to this fire. What's odd, though, is that as the fire spreads on the bedding, it seems to immediately dissipate the fire. So you would have expected this cloth to catch, and it does not. We go to the top of the order. It is Sten.
So the bed itself is on fire, but the sheets are not?
Correct.
Do we want to switch anybody
I
around?
assume we want to put Vasilla last, as we
Probably,
usually do.
yeah.
Yep. So we'll put Vasilla last. We've got right now. Then it would be Sten, Aldrich, Osric. Is that what we want?
I think Osric probably goes.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
okay.
it
I'm
depends.
okay if Osric.
Yeah,
Actually,
let's jump Osric to the front.
okay.
Oh,
Osric to the
What's up?
front. Okay.
Well, Sten was going to make a suggestion. It is probably terrible, but
That if you
think
want
I
to
like
if you want to
Sten's
do something, go
suggestion.
for it.
Because
yeah,
but,
let me.
but I
let me do
understand why
this.
Osric
let's
might
throw
go
it out
first.
and see what one of you thinks of it.
Let's
Okay,
do
so-
Sten, Osric, Aldrich instead.
Okay. Let me move Osric up then.
So, as his first action, not with any real hope of success, Sten is going to take a shot at this thing.
Okay.
Longbow, sharpshooter, 4 extra dice.
You've had it drawn. You've had it pulled. You fire. What is the artifact die?
That's
I think that's the arrow.
roll.
Oh, right. That's the arrow.
It
Okay.
automatically counts that.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 damage, and
Right.
let's have 2 shots, like 2 arrows just in succession, fire, and both of the arrows almost simultaneous. Robin Hood go
Yeah.
straight through her person. And again, no, she doesn't react to you shooting at her. She doesn't react to the arrows coming across the room,
Right.
entering her body and exiting out the other side.
Okay. Then Sten is going to yell, "It's fire! We got a smotherer!" And he will start trying to circle around behind where Osric is to try and grab up these inflammable sheets.
Okay, we'll have that as
I
your
don't think
fast
I can do any more with it than
Yeah.
that. But
Yep. So as your fast action, you're headed to the bed. We're
Mhm.
going to have you grabbing just a handful of the top sheets
Yep,
and just
and
pulling
yank.
them off.
Yep.
Yep. Pulling them off the bed. Osric, your arm is on fire.
It's fine. It's fine.
I've had
Not at all.
worse.
So because I dodged, I have to get back up, right?
Mm-hmm. That'll be your fast action.
So I think he's going to get back up. That just won't work. I don't have the dice for that. I think he's going to try that anyway. I think what he's going to do is he's going to attempt to taunt her to ensure that her focus stays on him while Sten does
Whatever the hell
things.
is Sten's trying
Right.
to
While
do.
Sten attempts to find these newly learned inflammable sheets.
So I don't remember how taunt works in this. Do you?
I believe taunt is a performance check against wit.
Page 57.
Rules.
Taunt enemies. You can use a slow action to taunt an enemy in combat. The enemy must be in short range and able to understand your language. You cannot taunt monsters or animals.
Oh well, then that's not a thing that I'm going to do.
She's definitely a monster.
That's not gonna work.
It's not very nice, Craig.
Demon
Sorry.
don't care.
She don't care. Okay, then if I can't,
If she asked, I would
Roger.
tell her she's a pretty monster.
No, yeah,
it's
lovely.
Yeah.
definitely a thing that I would say.
She's hot.
Yes.
I was
Yes, she
also
is.
just thinking that, so high five.
Great minds.
What are we doing, Osric?
I think he's going to take another swing at her because even though she doesn't seem to be affected overly,
Frostbite.
it
Help
seems
me
like
out
a
here,
thing
bro.
that he does. Two things.
Okay. So let's take the swing. It's going to be +4 from Vasilla, +1 from your sword fighter.
Yes. And the artifact still changes to a D10.
It does still change to a D10.
Another 10. So wasteful.
Oh,
Man, I'll tell you what, dude, your rolling is insane.
It's doing really. His Rustbite is really rolling well tonight. So, but I am not
Osric
going to
gonna
push
push
this one.
himself? Yeah, and that makes sense to me. Like the first push made sense to me. Osric, you seeing the result of that first
Right.
slice, I
Seems like
totally
he's
see
like,
you not.
let's not maybe.
Yeah.
not worth the trouble. Yeah.
So your left arm has you know all of your jacket clothing, you know, is a flame. It's hot, but it's not burning your skin at this point. You've come down with your sword. Arrows have flown by your ear coming from Sten. You've seen both of those arrows penetrate this thing and just in no way affect it. And I'm imagining a backhand back up again as you slice at her again with the same precision, the same accuracy, and the same result. It cuts through her in no way resisting whatsoever. The power that you have felt from Rustbite against these other demons is there, but it doesn't seem hungry. It doesn't seem exerted. And the flames, the flames react to Rustbite. As Rustbite slices up, you can see the flames pulling off of Rustbite as it cuts through, obviously not catching fire, but her form in no way changes.
It's real bad, Craig.
Aldrich?
I think Aldrich's gonna see that Sten has a plan, and he's gonna kind of try to hobble the other way to the other side of the bed and try to grab the other side of the sheets, and hopefully I can help Sten with this plan.
Okay, so that'll be your slow action, and I'll let your fast action be grabbing the other side of the sheets. I'm good with that. Vasilla,
Cool.
you are on the floor, right at the bottom, right below where the bed is.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that I haven't really seen like the failure of attacks, and I'm just going to like use my little knife, and I'm going to like try to break what I think is glass tubing under the bed. Is it still like full of like liquid now that she's not on it?
So Vasilla, as you slide under the bed, you see a series of about 8 tubes, glass tubes, which matches the 8 that you guys saw in this kitchen area. And all 8 tubes are down going into the ground. They're the same size. You don't see liquid in these tubes like you did see down at the dining room. But what is startling a little bit or interesting or odd is how the 8 tubes spread to different parts of the bed. So once they go to the top, you see them spread out and they cover almost every inch of the bed in these large glass areas. So the entire bottom of this mattress bed is covered with these glass half domes that then lead to these pipes.
I'm still gonna try to like break the glass, I think. So I'll just start on the nearest one.
Yeah, so actually do this for me. Just do a melee plus and go ahead and give yourself +2.
Okay.
Break stuff.
Melee.
Yeah, she's not mad enough. Let's break some
Modifier.
of her
I'm just
things.
gonna add it to gear bonus because I'm not sure where else to add it. And it works
When
well
you
enough.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
And yet, my little knife clangs.
So you're able to break one, right? So it hits the glass, it shatters, the tube shatters, and obviously the top of these domes are attached to the bottom of the bed. So even though you've broken the support of this one tubing, it's not falling off of the bed. So it seems to be connected to the floor as well as to the top of the bed.
Cool.
Brynhilda sees you dodge, Osric, and sees the flames, and she turns her head to where you are now, and it's almost like she's not stopped. It's still almost the same exhale as the flame comes towards you. She's got 2 successes.
I think I'm gonna keep trying to dodge.
I think that's probably wise. Because it seems bad.
Oh dear.
But no.
Hey, what does that bring your strength down to?
If I can't push this roll,
You can push the dodge.
I think I'm going to try to push the dodge. It would take me down to 1 if I don't absorb any. And I'm going to assume that armor, no work. Oh, no!
Oh, well, that was suboptimal.
So 1 damage to agility. What's your agility now?
My agility is 1, and my strength will also be 1.
So this squarely
zeros.
hits you.
Great.
Squarely hits you, Osric, and we have your chest now has caught fire, and you're kind of falling back, and we can see the flames just coming off of you as you go.
Yeah, and I assume armor does nothing to fire damage.
Correct.
Cool. Just got
All right. Do we want to change the order? I've got Sten, Osric, Aldrich, Vasilla.
Sten is already grabbing the sheet.
Mm-hmm.
But Sten has got sheets in hand, and so does Aldrich.
Move me up and see if Sten and I can smother her.
Yeah.
All right. So let me change you.
And Asher can just beat on her when we have her wrapped up in a sheet. Maybe that'll do it.
All right. So I've got then Sten and Aldrich.
So what I want to try and do is basically just kind of, if he's got the other end of it, just basically kind of clamber up and almost jump across the bed and just wrap this thing around her.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Just trying to smother her up and if these things genuinely don't burn and that wasn't just a trick of the light, I figure maybe we got a shot.
Jim, do you remember how assisting works in this system?
I do not offhand remember how assisting. I feel like an assist is like you grant a die, but that might be misremembering.
Help from others, page 48.
Add skill dice per person assisting. Thank you, Coda. So, Sten, you can add a skill die to this. I'm thinking it's a melee attack.
You are welcome to think that, but because I have willpower to spend and am human, this is actually a marksmanship thing. I think he's like tossing it over her and getting the other end.
I'm good with that. Spend
You
the
may not have
willpower.
realized it, but it's a marksmanship check.
Yes,
He's
all
so
right.
clever.
So
all right.
this is
So I'm
not
doing
just
that.
it's not a physical, it is a calculated precision.
Right.
So
Sure.
what Brian is using for Sten is he's using the human talent that allows him to swap out what skill he's using.
Yep.
As long as it makes sense, and the justification he just gave me, it does make sense. So let's do a marksmanship.
Sharpshooter sadly doesn't help, but I do get a point or a die for Aldrich's assistance.
Yep, you get a +1 from Aldrich.
Let's see what happens.
One smother.
I got a success.
He did.
And pushing that is going to be very nearly fatal. So, I'm going to leave that where it is and hope that there was some sense behind that plan.
So Sten, you've got one side of the sheets. Aldrich is holding the other, and I'm imagining Aldrich is kind of the pivot point.
Right, he's like the anchor.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're doing most of the traveling as you launch yourself across this bed. And the sheet that we've seen already not catch fire, right? This is what bore this idea, is coming at her like a sail on the top of a ship comes forward. And Sten, you're kind of launching yourself off the bed to be able to kind of wrap her around. The idea is that we're going to try to like smother her. And as the sheet hits her, just like Rustbite, it passes straight through her.
Son of a...
And you immediately land on the ground and fall with the sheet under you. And Aldrich, you lose your grip on the sheet and you're standing there. Despite the assist, I am going to give you a slow action.
Okay.
And in the same, again, she is not reacting to what anybody's doing to her.
Well, shit.
I think seeing that completely whiffed, Aldrich just kind of like backs off. Like, that was a good plan in theory, but just back off a step.
Okay, so you're just gonna use your slow action to move?
Yeah.
Okay. Osric, you've sliced at her twice now. You see them attempting to smother her as you've dodged away, and you see they pass right through her, no way affecting her form. You're now in front of her. Your clothes are on fire. Rustbite feels different than he's ever felt or it's ever felt in the presence of a demon.
Real bad, Greg. I was really hoping the sheet thing worked, guys.
Me too.
Clever. It's so clever.
It's like, how do you? Oh, is there? Now that the sheet's not on the bed, do I notice anything on the top of the bed, which I guess would be on the other side of her from me? Is that right?
A quick glance, and there's obviously a mattress, and there's a second sheet on the mattress.
They're like stabby
Having
needles
Sten
on top
taking
or
the top
anything.
sheet. And Sten, for what it's worth, it's like silk, just soft sheets in your hands.
Oh,
Like,
lovely.
it's
Thanks.
beautiful.
It is worth less than you'd think.
3,000 thread. Worth
If I live
more
long
than the
enough, I'm
house you
keeping
lived
these.
in Oakenheart.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Swinging again seems like a terrible plan. So I think I have to use my fast action to get up again.
Okay.
I get knocked down.
You're hurting, buddy.
I am hurting a lot. I think that seems like a terrible plan too.
You're gonna need something, Jim.
I want to move onto the bed
Okay.
and sort of in a defensive stance, I guess, to make sure that she doesn't, to keep my facing to her, but I want to climb onto the bed.
So you're able to hop up on the bed, kind of get a solid stance on it. The the bed itself is it's a firm mattress for whatever it's worth, and you're standing there, and that your head is almost at the canopy. So it's a very tall canopy. She is continuing to belch flame from her mouth, and it just continue following you. Vasily, you're under the bed. You can hear two people have jumped on the bed so far that you're under, and you can see the flames of the feet of this thing up ahead of you, and you also see Sten falling onto the floor.
Are the tubes that are attached like inflexible glass?
I'm not sure I understand.
So, is the plan try to wedge off one of the ends and shove it onto her foot feasible with the physics of the glass?
Oh yeah, I mean it's glass, right? So you could, if you want to try to hit her with the glass, you can.
No. I want to like Ghostbusters suck her
He wants to
into.
put the end of a tube. He wants to move
Vacuum
the
it.
tube.
Yeah, no, this is
At which point
I
it
don't
would
think
not
the
be
glass
glass.
works
It
that
would
way
be
'cause
much
yeah, it's
more
not
like-
rubber. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to grab a piece of the glass and just like slide it at her foot. Like I'm not trying to like do damage. I just want to see if it interacts with her incorporeal body.
So you're not talking about like using it like a dagger. You're like pushing it to see what happens
If
with
it
the
will-
glass.
Yeah, if it goes through or sticks.
And you do that. So you push the part of the glass that you shattered with your dagger before, and you see it slide and just slide past into her foot and slide past it.
Okay.
I will count that as a fast action if you still want to use a slow action.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell, "Use the damn scepter, idiot!" And then I'm gonna
Listen, I was getting there.
and then I'm going to get up. I'm going to get out from under the bed and I'm going to start running out the door.
The door.
Like the door that we locked.
Arch
Like
the
the
exit.
one-
You're going to run to the door.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll let all that happen for your two actions. You slide the glass. You tell Aldri to use the damn scepter, and you run out and you'll get to the door. And we'll have you at the door. All right, Osri. She has not stopped. She's following you to the bed and
She's
breathing.
so mad.
It's getting weaker and weaker though every time. It's your successes.
She has one
So am
trick,
I.
but it's a damn good
Unfortunately,
trick.
I guess I'm gonna try this dodge again.
Okay. You just need one.
Yes.
You got two. How do you dodge these flames as these flames are now
My-
following you up to the bed?
My hope is that I actually dodge myself to the other side of the bed,
I'm good with that.
sort of kind of falling back and rolling himself off of the bed on the other
And
side.
this is where the sheets did work, right? Because as you rolled off to the side, the flames obviously didn't catch to the sheets. And you can see as you duck down behind the other side of the bed, the flames just cascading off of the bed and almost ricocheting off the bed as the heat of the flame as you're laying there, and you turn your head and you can see Vasila's little legs as she runs to the door. Do we want to change the order?
I would like to
Then
go
I'll
first.
I think yes, I'm in favor of Aldrich going first.
I would like to hit the oh shit button, please.
Okay, give me just 1 second. All right, so I've got Aldrich, then Osri, then Sten, and
Sure,
then
I'll buy
Vasila.
that.
Do we want? Is that good?
Sounds good.
All right, Aldrich,
Yeah,
you're
I think
standing
if it-
there. You're seeing her belch this flame onto the bed in front of you, and it covers in the flame. You see that Osri has rolled himself off. He's on the other side. You're standing there.
Yep. And I reach back into my pack, grab the scepter out, and just
All right. So for those that are watching that may not be familiar with it, let's explain what we do and what the mechanics are.
All right. So with the Nakaka scepter, I thrust it onto the ground, and I get an earthquake spell with power level of D6 plus 2, spending no willpower. So I'm just gonna roll a D6. It's only gonna be 4, but that seems like a good test. Just see if this does anything. So that is, I believe, just 4 strength damage from earthquake.
The
You're the
scepter
magic
comes.
dude.
The
Yeah.
scepter comes down, and you're limited to once per day on this. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
So this is my one shot.
The scepter comes down and it hits the wood floor under the rug. And the way it reacts to that, you can tell that below this wood, there's obviously stone, because once it hits, sparks fly off the wood and the rug where it lands,
More
and it
fire.
quickly separates and burns away. And you can see the stone under that is really the
That's what we wanted.
underpinning. And you see it start to crack, and it travels through the crack, the energy of it, and comes up on her. And she, for the first time, reacts. You see her pushed back by this, and she falls back and just and she's just like shielding her face, and you can just see the energy coming up her body, the flames of her body, causing him to flicker, and as soon as it's like parts of her seems to be doused, it reignites almost immediately. But this is the first time, and she is just reacting, and her arms are like this, and it's coming up from her. And you said it's total of 4 strength damage.
Yep.
Got it. Osric, you hear the crack, that sound of the scepter as it hits the floor, and the floor under you is shaking. You know exactly what happened as you tilt your head up, and you see the reaction of Aldrich pressing the scepter to the ground, and this beast demon's reaction.
We can't do that again. So I'm going to get up, and I'm now on the opposite side of the bed of her. I can't reach her. I think I'm just going to hold my remaining action for a dodge. Because I don't think
what you're
there's
doing?
anything I can... I think my hope is that she'll get on the bed and it will maybe impact her in some way.
Okay, that's Osric. That goes to Sten. Sten, you're on the ground behind her. You have seen all of this happen.
Mm-hmm.
She is stumbling backwards, actually towards you.
Okay. Sten is rapidly running out of helpful ideas. Doing a quick look around this room, do I see anything that looks magical or arcane or weird or otherwise maybe somehow tied to the powers this thing has?
A
Or does
quick
it just
glance,
look like bedroom
no.
furniture?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it looks like just this luxurious bedroom. There's nothing other than the flaming woman in the center of it that in any way leads you to believe something's odd.
Okay. Well, that is odd.
Yeah.
So I think what I'll do is stand up because I don't want to be here. And then what the hell? This might work. I have this shiny new shield, which I am assured is a magical device. I'm gonna see if I can use it to knock her down.
Great.
Just kind of
Great.
when she's facing in the other direction, a little off balance, just wham.
Yep. And I think if you go to the shield, you have
Shove
the
is
option to
listed as
shove.
an option on here. I'm terrible at it. Actually,
Yeah, it seems
think
like
I'm
this
gonna-
is what you're doing to survive.
I mean, yeah. I'm gonna put a willpower in, and I'm gonna do it a little better with
What are
great
you using?
accuracy and marksmanship.
Okay.
Captain America throw.
Yep, pretty much. So that is going to be marksmanship is 3 and 3. So I go here, I do the shove, put that there, do that there. None of that modifies. I roll some dice. Well, I got a success. I should probably see how shove works. And that is,
I think shove is an opposed roll, if I remember right.
problem.
That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, and Let's see. If your opponent has higher strength, I need 2 succeeds. She's lost some strength. I'm not very strong to begin with.
Yeah. She's
Um,
well, how much strength do you have right now?
I have 2 strength right
She
now.
is stronger than you.
And I can't see where the banes are.
If you click on the actual
On the
bane,
skull?
Yeah, that'll bring it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
you
we are.
click on the
Okay.
shove
blow it up
itself.
for you.
So
click on push.
1 on
That doesn't
strength
work.
and 1 on the shield. Ugh. And would the strength damage take effect after resolving the push or the shove?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try it
Okay.
because we're in desperate straits right now. So. Oh well, I broke the magic shield. I did get the second success though.
Okay, so this is going to you get 1 damage applied to Horn's hand, which is the name of the shield. 1 applied to your strength. This leaves you how much strength?
1.
Okay. You just I love the Captain America analogy, right? You just knowing what the shield is, and if you remember, it had kind of like a flame motif to it, right? And you shove the shield towards her, trying to like physically push her. She's going like this, and she turns her head and sees you coming, and the shield comes into her hand, and you see it just like going through her hand. She takes her other hand and grabs the edge of it, and this time is not incorporeal, and she shoves you into the bed.
Okay.
And so you just go flying into the bed. There's no damage or anything, and you are just now landed on the bed.
Okay.
Priscilla,
Great.
you're at the door.
I unlock the door and open it.
Okay, that's a fast
Are
action.
the boars still sitting around?
No, yes, they're like completely agitated, just like chains taut, trying to get to you, but they're ways away, long ways away.
Can I get to any of the urns of blood without the boars attacking?
You have to get on the. Actually, no, there was one that was on the far right side.
All right, I'm going to go retrieve an urn of blood.
Okay.
And come back to the room.
So we're gonna have you run. I'm gonna have you pick up this thing. So you reach up to the top of the table that it's on, and you pull it back, and you're carrying it, and your arms barely wrap around it. And we're gonna have you then carrying this urn of liquid back to the door. She did not like what you did, Aldrich.
I imagine not.
Yeah. So for the first time, she stops bellowing this fire, turns to you as her arms come down after she's done throwing Sten to the thing, and just opens her mouth again, and just a flamethrower from her mouth.
Whoa. That's so much damage. Oh no. All right. Well, I guess
Your only option is to dodge if you want.
Yeah, that's about all I got. This is gonna be terrible. It's gonna be so bad. That's not gonna help.
You have -1 success.
Yep. That'll get me.
I was like, wait, what just happened here?
My horrible. I think like Aldrich goes to move and like puts all his weight on his bad foot, and he just goes down like a sack of potatoes, and then just fire. So that'll break me again.
All right, let's take you down to 0 strength, and I have got to roll a crit for you.
0 agi, right?
No, that's
oh no, you
damage
missed
to
it.
strength.
Never mind. You're right.
Yeah, 3 strength, 3 to the strength. So
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Goblin.
So the audience can see this. I made it hidden for the players.
Oh no.
You stumble back, and the fire just goes, and out of just sheer instinct, Aldrich, as you're falling, your arm comes up to foolishly block like the flame, like somehow this is going to make a difference. And as this flame is coming towards you, you not only feel the heat, right? The heat of the fire from it, but you also feel the magic. And it's almost scalding your arm before the heat of the fire even reaches you. And as you're falling, your arm reaches up to foolishly try to block this. We see the flame finally reach your arm, and like a hot knife through butter, slices your arm off. So the momentum of your arm coming up, your right arm continues to fly in that direction as the flame just seals the stump of the top, like basically the top half of your arm. And you can just feel the heat as it goes. And it doesn't even hurt as you just, but it is surreal as you see the arm fly off. I'm going to bring up your sheet. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. And then we are going to add severed arm to your critical list.
Because you don't have enough right now.
Yeah, and there's no healing time on this. It's just permanent. Here we can, whoops, that's exactly the opposite of what I wanted to do. I wanted to send it to chat. So lethal, yes. Time left, actually, it is lethal. You got 3 hours. 3 hours to have this attended to, or you will die. Healing time is permanent, so you will always have no right arm. And two-handed weapons cannot be used.
Oh no, what a shame.
So you guys see Aldrich collapse. Do we want to change the order? Right now I've got Aldrich going first.
Sten will go first if no one minds.
It's fine.
Oh, sure.
Okay, and then I've got Osri and then Vasilla.
Let me go because
Yeah, let Vasilla go first.
maybe it'll
Before
work.
Sten?
It won't, but maybe.
Not before Sten. Sorry, before Osri.
Okay. So I've got. Let me adjust Sten. I'll take combatant.
I believe in you guys.
I don't. Like, you're the magic guy, and you did damage.
Okay.
Congrats on that.
So that means I've got Sten, Vasilla, then Osri. So Sten, what are we doing? You see what happens. You see Aldrich collapse to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You're on top of the bed. You see the arm flying across. The flame of the searing flames coming off the arm as it flies.
Yeah. So Sten thinks back about 25 years to when his wife and his daughter were taken by a demon, and he feels kind of the burning of the scar he got trying to protect them that day that never went away. And he just sort of rolls off the bed right in this demon woman's face, kind of yells over his shoulder, "Get the hell out of here!" and just basically stands there in front of her, just kind of like this, waiting for her to strike him down. And basically, if she moves or turns towards anyone else, he is going to try and get in her way so that whatever she does to him.
All right, you'll have a dodge still left over.
Yep.
Vasilla, you're at the door frame with this huge glass container of some liquid. And you hear Sten stand between himself and everybody else in this demon, and he yells what he just yelled.
Well, the boars get me if I go back the other way. I'm gonna yell, "Osric, help me with this!" I'm just gonna kind of waddle my jar of blood forward.
We'll go right to Osric. She's walking this container towards you.
What do we think we're doing with this jar? Sure. Okay. I'm gonna walk up, or move up to Basilla with the giant urn of liquid, and I think I want to attempt to douse her with this liquid.
So there's no way to douse her without dousing Sten.
Sten does not particularly look like he cares.
That seems fine.
I feel like that's. I really don't like that consequence.
I mean, there's no good consequences, Jim.
No.
I'd like to resist that consequence.
Jim and I play Blades once a month.
Oh, Sten says, "Do you, just for my memory, has Aldrich touched this liquid?"
No.
That wasn't something
No.
we did last time.
I never touched it. I just tasted it, or tasted.
Right,
it.
right, right.
Basically by being
around
near it.
You sniffed it,
Yeah.
but didn't actually touch this. So there's it's not without concern.
We don't know what it does when it makes contact.
Cool. Okay. I think given that there is no other choice, I will still do this.
So you grab this container from Vasilla. You turn and you're just gonna throw it onto them, right?
I think
Knowing that you-
it's sort of like a like a
Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah.
like to pitch the contents, but not the jar.
So no roll needed. I don't know how you could miss. Right? You take this and like a bucket, you toss this liquid and it launches, and it's gonna where it's squarely gonna hit is really on like Sten's shoulder blades and higher, because this demon is larger than Sten. And the liquid hits Sten and then comes to her. Sten doesn't react. And the reaction she makes as this liquid hits her is only to slightly turn to look at you, Osric, as the water just passes through her. This liquid just passes through her. You can see just this reddish liquid falling and dripping off of Sten's back.
Maybe it'll help me be fire resistant.
I'll find out, Sten.
Oh man.
She got 2 successes. She belches fire onto you, sir.
Okay, well, I feel
It's
like
the
I should
worst
at least
random
try
attack
and dodge,
ever.
which is not a thing that I'm good at. But options are limited. I don't see that under the combat page.
It's all the way at
That
the
should be at the
bottom.
very bottom.
Oh, there it is. All right, cool. Dodge. All right, here we go. Hooray! I mean, at this point, I have no reason not to push it.
Yeah. Okay, so you got 1 success.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be 1 damage to your strength. Where does that put you?
Breaks me.
That breaks you. All right. We have yet another, another crit. You pull back as you see her mouth unnaturally get just large, and the fire starts to come out. Much like Aldrich, you're pulling back, instinctively putting your hands up it, and you feel the flames, but the flames are not aimed at your head. You feel them on your chest, and where the burn really seems to be hitting is around your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And you could feel as it just penetrates through any of the armor, penetrates into your skin. And let's give you your crit.
Hungry? I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
That was good. That was good. We like that one. It is bleeding guts.
Oh, well, that's fine. Oh,
So I'm going to send
I
it.
won't live that long.
Send it to Chet. It is lethal. You've got 5 hours it needs to be treated before you die. The effects are 1 point of damage at each roll for might, move, and melee.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to be doing any of those things right now.
You fall to the ground. You're now next to Aldrich.
Yep. And I just scream at the others, run!
So there's Vasilla and Osric.
I mean, run, I guess.
Priscilla, you can't carry anyone.
Correct. That is a correct assessment.
I don't know that I can carry them both.
Dude, we're fucked. We either are running or we're dying. That's our choices.
So Osric, you could drag both of them. It would take both actions, and you could get them to the door.
I think that's what we're gonna do.
He's a brave boy.
And if
Is-
Vasilla wants to assist, I can have you with actions, all four actions between the two of you. We can get you outside of the bedroom.
Sure.
So
I
Osric,
could do
you
that.
run up.
He'll holler that you should help me with this. We'll get away.
So you drag and you reach the edge of the bedroom. You pull them into the hallway. Vasilla's, believe it or not, is helping. I think
Helping.
Aldrich is the heavier of the two, and probably the one that Vasilla would go to help anyway. And you drag them both. You see the blood coming from Sten's stomach. You see the blood coming out of Aldrich's stump of an arm on his right hand as you're pulling in, and it's leaving just this trail of dragged blood as you're pulling them out to the bedroom. She is gone, and you can see her fill her chest up, and then as you cross that barrier, she does not exhale. And she stands there and pauses. Almost, she's not frozen or anything, but you can tell she's waiting to see what the four of you are about to do. So she's not attacking.
How's the boar situation in this room?
They're yapping and screaming and
They're still on
wanting
chains,
to
right?
break these chains more than anything right now.
And they are in our way.
You would have to go through them to get to the staircase that you went up. You would not have to go through them to get to the bridge that went to the tower.
Okay, we're gonna go that way.
So Vasilla and Osric then headed towards that the bridge, the Star Wars style no railing bridge that's cross between the main castle over to this tower where you met the Minotaur below. As you come out of her visible sight, right? So as you move her away and you can no longer see her, she can no longer see you. As you get out onto this land bridge, you look down. You can still see Marigal and Marigal and what you assume to be Zertom sitting, having this discussion, and then you hear a bellowing, unnatural cry come from your left, and it's obviously coming from where this balcony is. And as that happens, both heads snap to look up at the balcony. You can't see the balcony from where you are, but you can see both of them as you're dragging Aldrich and Sten across this bridge. You can see them reacting. You can see somehow it seems that that Marigal is trying to, you can't tell if she's trying to calm him or whatever, and he just shoves his hand and shoves her away, and he's headed towards the castle, and she runs after him. You guys drag across and you get to the top of the other tower, which, if you remember, had this huge nest type thing at the top. and then the staircase leading down.
I mean, down is the way, right?
Don't leave me here. It's gonna be too slow. You gotta get out of here.
I'm not leaving you here.
Then you're
Yeah,
a
the only way to get.
what I thought.
Yeah.
We could try to hide him in the nest, I guess. But if we don't get him help, we'll die. So we just keep dragging. Like we're
Yeah,
in
I
drag
think
mode.
if there's anything that now that we're sort of away, if we can resituate and make dragging is, if we can hoist or anything of that nature.
Yeah, I think if you want to fireman over, put Sten over your shoulder, right, and then use your like under Aldrich's arms, kind of lift him up, but drag him. That can happen, and Vasilla can lead the way.
Yeah,
let's do
I
that.
feel like I'm because you're beat up, right? Your strength is awfully.
My strength is not the best.
Yeah, so I think I'll be like trying to like hold the legs up as much as I can because I'm also super weak, both naturally and I'm injured.
So miraculously, we watch you guys work your way down the spiral staircase. You get to the bottom, everything is as is. You work your way into the dining room. Where are we headed?
Got to be up the.
Yeah, I think that we're headed to where we left the boat.
Yeah, I think so.
Which
right?
either is there.
Like we know he's coming in the front door, which is presumably out through the dining room.
So we can montage this, and we're going to have it cut back and forth as we see the four of you get to the boat. We see you push off into the moat to head to the other side. We see the steel masked Zertome make his way through the front door of this castle. The camera doesn't follow him. We see Marigold just stand there, not going into the castle after him. We cut back to the four of you. You reach the other side.
Did we catch? Were there people at there were not Galdanes, the other one.
Quartz.
There were quards at the boat?
No. The boat was just left there.
Do you know first aid?
Do I know? I don't believe that I do.
Just go to the camp and get some help.
Yeah, I think we're gonna carry them to the quard camp.
Yeah, we'll make a quick stretcher if out of like limbs or like the boat or whatever. Like we'll break through the boat with respite or something.
At this point, Aldrich has just been like just raspy breaths. Like he's not. There's no screaming. There's no noise. He can't talk. He's just.
Let's have the four of you reaching the camp, and you just instinctively go to Meridia's tent, right? And you get to Meridia's tent as soon as Osri busts through her door, doesn't knock, doesn't do anything, doesn't even acknowledge the two guards in front who don't try to stop him. You get in there and she immediately calls for help. She tells you to put Sten here, put Aldrich here. Are you okay? Women fill the tent and immediately attend to Sten and Aldrich. I want to know, as this is happening, what are Osric and Vasilla doing?
I feel like Osric is going to sort of collapse into a sit and just heaving breaths because he's we've obviously been hoisting these two and it's been a long trek, and I think he's sort of head in his hands thinking that there was nothing more that he could have done and nothing that he was doing was and so I think he's a bit of a muttering to himself, there was nothing else that we could do. Even respite did nothing to her.
How about Vasilla?
Vasilla's going to just kind of like fade into the background, and then she's going to start trying to put together a pack, like getaway pack of like food and blankets and water and getting herself like a run together kind of pack.
The GTFO pack.
Yeah, we just pissed off the dude in the mask girlfriend who we couldn't harm except for once.
So these druidic women are able to treat all of these criticals. So there's nobody's going to die. The effect of them still is in place. So just take note. I think Sten, yours heals in 3 days. But until then, you take a point of damage every time you roll for might, move, and melee. And for the next 3 days. They move each of you to your own tents, unless you object. But you're attended the whole time by these women. Both Sten and Aldrich, you have several women with you.
I think.
Go ahead, Osri.
I think if we can, we'd like to be in one tent.
Okay.
Rather
There's
than
no
spread
objection to
across to 4, just so that we can all be in the same tent.
Okay. So we'll have everybody go to Aldrich's tent. It's the one closest to
Sure.
Meridia. Okay. So they originally, and they're like, okay, that's fine. So they actually move Sten's bed from his tent into Aldrich's tent. Don't really give you, Osric and Vasilla, a bed, but they give you bed rolls. They don't move the beds there. They lay you down. I'm not going to give Sten or Aldrich a choice. They are falling asleep.
Yeah, I'm assuming I am not conscious enough to interact meaningfully here. So.
Now, important question / note, Craig. The scepter.
Yep.
The way I'm imagining it, the only way I can see it having gotten out is if like Aldrich had like a death grip on it in his left hand. If you think it got left in the tower, that's fine. But
no,
the way I see it getting out with us is like it's the one thing, like it's just instinctive in it, like death grip to him. But now everyone can see it too.
I'm fine with that.
Another interesting note.
Yeah, and so for Aldrich and Sten, you go ahead and you heal all of your attribute up to full from the rest. These women are encouraging Osric and Vasilla to also go to sleep. I'm going to need a roll if either of you want to try to resist sleeping.
Are they not? I'm going to try to resist for a while. Are they not leaving for like a while?
They say they're going to stay the night, and to make sure that all of you are safe. She says we have guards out front. Meridia, when you guys, after you've rested, Meridia wants to know what is going on, what attacked you.
Okay.
But tonight you need to sleep.
Yeah, I think that they are correct. I think we're going to have to trust them to keep watch over us.
Yeah, I think them coming and finding us, like, yeah, I think eventually I'll fall asleep. I think I'll try to stay up for a while to be like, maybe try to find an opening to get away, but there's, whatever, 10 women in the thing the whole time, so eventually I'll fall asleep.
All right. So let's go ahead and take you to the 19th. Let me just... All right. This is the morning of the 19th, the first quarter day. So knock a day off. Any critical injuries that happened yesterday are now a day less from their heal time. For those of you, I think it's just Aldrich and Sten. You can go to your sheet and you can hit the edit button and edit that down to how many days are left. There's a countdown.
I just deleted mine because I was a 0.
Perfect.
I was at 1. That's fun.
Yep. You are no longer concussed, Vasilla. Boy, you took the worst of it, didn't you?
Always.
All right.
So everybody sleeps very soundly. Aldrich, really tough to say how long you've been asleep. The only thing I can tell you is, though your eyes are closed, you can hear morning birds. So if it's not dawn, it's darn close to dawn. But you also feel somebody putting their fingers through your hair.
I think that would kind of shock him awake, given everything that's happened. And he goes to like raise up his hands to kind of like defend himself.
You have no
And
hands.
There's that phantom limb sensation. And he just kind of goes blanch, just like sweating.
And you open your eyes, and she's sitting by the bed. She goes, "You've had a long night." And of course, the first thing you notice is her yellow eyes. It's Miracle. Are you okay?
I don't know if I would say okay, but I am alive.
And instinctively, Aldrich, you look around the room. You're in no position to move. You're in no position to get up. Everybody's asleep, including the Druidic women. It looks like the women took care of you.
Very well, yes.
She puts her hand on your injury, on your arm. She goes, "I'm sorry this happened."
I knew there was risk.
I know this seems odd to ask, but it's important. Will the four of you be at the festival today?
I can't speak for all of us. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in any condition to leave a bed. Is it important, given what we saw?
It is.
Then I will.
Zertoma is not going to be there. He's asked me to be the head of the ceremony. And we still need you there. All of you. And I have to tell you, this is not often that I so grossly underestimate a group like I have the four of you. There's very few that would have made it out of that castle alive going up against her.
I have good friends.
The four of you should leave after the ceremony.
Yes. I couldn't agree more.
And I think the four of you are the ones that should collect the elves and should put them in the crown. You've already got one of them. And she has a piece of paper folded, and she puts it into your one hand. And she says, "This will take you to another one. You're going to have to go north around the mountains. And when you get there, it's inside the mines, along with his sister. Do not trust her.
At this point, I'd be hard-pressed to trust anyone.
You need to sleep some more." She puts her hand on your forehead, and you just overwhelmed. Your eyes just fall heavy. Let's go to credits. We'll be back on the other side. Woo. I think I'm going to start with Dave. So more information than you had at the beginning of the session.
True.
We've had thoughts and theories about what the hell was going on. I'd like to hear Dave's take. What does Dave believe now with this new information?
I still think they're making a demon army, but now I think they're not. I think they're obviously the blood Brunhilde is not a captive; she is a knowing part of it. So I still think they're making a demon army, and I think Sir Tome is part of that. I don't know if he's like tricked into it, like because she's clearly like was a seductress kind of person at 1st. Like, but he's clearly on the bad side, either willingly, but tricked or not. Probably not tricked. Like, dude seems like he's on the bad side,
or he summoned a demon, and it was more than he could handle.
Sure.
Yeah.
His own dang fault.
But like, my instincts to trust Marigold clearly good.
Well, so I'd be curious because obviously Priscilla did not hear this conversation. She was naturally or unnaturally still asleep. Has your perception of Marigold changed, Dave, at all, or what is your take on her?
I guess I don't know. I think Priscilla's undergoing a rapid transformation in the horrors of the world. Right? Like, they were on this quest to save the warrior who was going to help them against the demons. Not so much, right? There was this fort of soldiers who were going to fight back against the demons. No, in fact, their priest was a demon, and they were all dead guys. So like, I don't know. I think she's going to have to do some growing up, right? Like, I think like the little, she lived in a village. She's 16 or whatever, and she was like, "The world's great. I know all these stories. I'm going to go have adventures." And it's like, actually, terrible, just terrible.
Adventures are the worst.
Yeah, and somebody that you really cared about has taken the worst of it. All right, not worried about Osric right now. Thinking about Jim. So Jim, anything changed as far as what you think is going on?
This whole handing out notes thing from Margal, I like, my initial take on her was much more puckish and less well intended. I feel like she's leaning good, but I mean she's definitely still very, very puckish, right? She's doing things that are entertaining to her. But I feel like she might be, in fact, a force for good, but in a way that is, she's obviously, this ancient something, right? She's an ancient power of some kind. And so, once you've had to do that for so long, it gets boring, I'm sure. And so you got to do something to entertain yourself, and things like finding, people who are willing to try to fight fire demon ladies and things like that is something helpful. And it's like, oh well, that was an interesting day, that was great, I wouldn't have expected you to come out of that, so that's kind of cool. Now maybe you can do this other favor for me, that kind of thing. Of course, it could just be in the end that she's trying to get us to collect these things because she can't pick them up unless we give them to her or something crazy like that. But I feel like she's leaning good, but anytime anybody starts to lean good, I get a little nervous in the Forbidden Lands.
So, Brian, assuming Aldrich shares the conversation he just had, can we get a preview of what you think Sten's reaction might be?
I feel like you all probably already know what Sten's reaction is going to be. I really wish I'd been awake during that. But I think the most telling part of that was that she said, "Wow, I wouldn't have expected you to come out of that castle alive."
When she sent us to our deaths
into the castle. I think that's kind of a relevant point.
No,
Well,
she didn't send us.
to clarify, she didn't send you to
That's
the
true.
castle.
No, but when we were thinking about not going, she really kind of encouraged us to go.
She did.
Yeah.
She was a fan of the idea.
She poured
and
gas
she
on the
actually
fire.
saw us in the castle. Yeah, no, I do not agree that she is on the way to the good. It's possible that Sten has a slight bias against her.
Maybe.
Sten is going to wake up even more cranky than usual because he couldn't even martyr himself successfully.
you know,
Sorry.
he
Sorry
stole
about
my
that.
martyr moment, and I was like, well, I'm not going to let him have that moment.
All right, Nate, one-armed bandit.
Yeah.
Welcome to Forbidden Lands.
Yeah. Aldrich is Aldrich's not the same Aldrich that came into this session. Like, that's gonna be interesting to play with, because like, man.
There's
Wizards
been
don't need
a boyish
hands.
innocence that you've played Aldrich with up to this
Mhm.
point, and I'm curious to know what happens to that, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to reckon with like the things that he's good at, his craftsmanship. All of that is twice as hard now. Like, he has to find ways to work around that, and that alone is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Like that's probably going to be the biggest concern. He'd almost rather be dead.
Yeah, I can imagine
until
him-
he learns to live with this new situation.
Yeah, I mean, like we know him as a sorcerer, right, within the context of the game, but I've always gotten the impression that Aldrich does not identify himself first as a sorcerer, but
No.
as the craftsman. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a leather worker. He's
Yeah.
He endears himself to work on, be a craftsman, and magic to him is another craft. Like, that's not his main identity.
What do you think Aldrich's going to do? He's got this map that she gave him. She gave him, said you need to go find the rest. Said you need to go to the mines. Don't trust the sister. And she needs you to go to the festival tomorrow or this morning.
I mean, I feel like he doesn't trust her, but it feels important that they be there for whatever is going to come to pass. So he will come down on the side of, we need to see this thing through, use what good grace we have with the Quards, and move on, because we cannot stay here.
Yeah.
And if Zertom is going to be, a day absent, we can observe this festival. And if she impressed upon me that it's important, like, he's at bare minimum going to take that at if not trustworthy, at she meant it. There's something there.
So we're 2 weeks away from the next episode. We're going to play on April 14th. It's going to be an hour later. Instead of the 7 p.m. start time, we're going to do an 8 p.m. start time for it. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. Coming this Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern is the next episode of Mothership, which has also been pretty nutty. So you may not want to miss that. Next week, we're going to have an episode for Malifaux streaming at 8 p.m. on the 7th. And then let's see, Forbidden Lands. We've got Blades coming up. You can just go to any of our socials to find the schedule. And we've got the next RPG roundtable booked. And the first episode was with Sean Nittner and John Harper. You can go to our YouTube channel to watch it. It's really created a lot of buzz and a lot of excitement. It was a phenomenal conversation. Then we had Spencer Campbell and Navi Drake for the second episode, as popular and created as much buzz. People also really enjoyed that. Each time I'm wondering, how do I keep the quality of the guests up? And I'm very proud of the next one. The third one is scheduled to be on the 28th of April. and it's going to feature Anthony Boyd, who is most of you may know as Runeslinger, a very popular YouTube channel. Was interviewed on my show and has since then become a good friend of mine. He is really, I think, one of the more interesting thinkers about play and about role playing. And the second guest is Seth Swerkowski. And if you know Call of Cthulhu, you know Seth. He's got, in my opinion, the best review channel for RPGs there is. And I was really excited when Seth agreed to come on. So it'll be Seth and Anthony and myself here at the end of April. Guys, I really appreciate it. Had no idea what was going to happen. And here we are. Next session is going to be very, very interesting. And for all of you that stuck around to the end, I appreciate you too. Take care.